Blue Shift.
If you're watching this video, then it means you've also noticed that a new game has claimed a spot on the front pages of Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube alike, and has big-name streamers like Shroud, Summit, and Dr. Disrespect all jumping on board. But what is this new game? In this video, I'll give you a quick overview of what this game is and why it has so much of the gaming community so excited. Escape from Tarkov is an early access, online, hardcore survival FPS, and it's actually been around for a while, but the last few updates have really pushed it into the mainstream of PC gaming. While the gameplay can be pretty complex, the concept of the game is relatively simple and really revolves around one thing: the stash. The idea is, use gear from your stash to outfit your character. Go into a raid and scavenge the best items you can find, then survive long enough to find an extract point and return to your stash to deposit your sweet loot. From there, you can either sell the loot you found or save it for future raids. Simple concept, but there is a pretty significant catch. In Tarkov, if you're killed by another player or AI while in raid, you lose everything. Everything you brought in on your character and anything you found in the raid. It stays right there in raid on your dead body, waiting for your killer or some other lucky scavenger to be looted and deposited in their own stash. Now, this isn't a case of permadeath. Your character does technically survive, at least long enough to limp back to your safe house, albeit injured and stripped of all pride and any other valuables you may have been bold enough to venture out with. But this is where the bulk of the game's entertainment really comes from. This mechanic forces players to really strategize on what gear they're willing to risk to bring into a raid. It forces the player to slow down, pay attention, and really think about your next move before you make it. Tarkov presents every player with a risk versus reward dilemma. As a player, you can choose to risk very little, such as only bringing in a pistol or even nothing at all into a raid. You may get lucky and go unnoticed through the raid, or even find a downed player and clean up whatever scraps are left, but you are at a huge disadvantage to any players or AI with even mediocre gear and weapons, and will likely go down even after a single shot if you're noticed. Or, you can take another approach and invest in the absolute best weapons and armor you can afford. This will give you a defensive and offensive advantage in the raid. Your gear can give you those extra precious seconds to react and fire back at whoever is targeting you. While this does make you much harder to kill, you're not invincible. Other players or AIs can still bring you down pretty quickly by targeting unprotected areas or using ammunition that'll punch right through your armor. The game leaves it up to every player to find their own balance of how much they are willing to risk for every raid. Tarkov is also known for its many deep and complex game mechanics. Weapon customization goes way beyond other games available today. With over 80 weapon platforms and dozens of attachments and components for each weapon, the player has a massive arsenal to choose from. A flushed out ammunition and ballistic system, where bullets have individual velocities, are affected by gravity, and can penetrate or ricochet when hitting surfaces, all determined by caliber and type of ammunition used. A robust health and damage system that features body part specific damage and status effects such as blood loss, fractures, contusions, intoxication, exhaustion, tremors, and many more. Survival elements like hydration and energy must also be maintained with the game's large variety of medical supplies and provisions. A unique in-game economy that relies heavily upon looting and scavenging. With 8 in-game dealers who each specialize in a particular category of goods, and a fully player-operated flea market, there's always a place to buy or sell goods. You can also build reputation with each dealer by completing quests. This reduces the commission they receive on sales in the flea market, or just provides better pricing in general. Quests also lend some guidance and variety to gameplay by taking you to different areas and doing a variety of different missions. Your main character also has 5 skill categories that you level up through active use in raid. Skills such as endurance, perception, recoil control, and first aid all will slowly buff your character as you continue to use them over time. Escape from Tarkov currently has 3 game modes. In PMC mode, you play as your main character. You start at the beginning of a raid on your selected map, carrying the items and gear that you equip to your character in the stash menu. As a PMC, you can engage and kill other PMCs or the in-game AI, scavs. In order to survive the raid and escape with any items you're carrying, you must locate and move into an extraction zone before time runs out. In this mode, you can earn XP and complete quests. In Scav mode, you play as a member of the Scav faction alongside the AI and other player Scavs. You have randomized gear and equipment, often low quality or unbalanced, and will spawn midway through a raid session. As a player Scav, AI Scavs will not attack you unless you do so first, and may even cooperate with you. Additionally, Scav loadouts are essentially free, meaning unlike that of a PMC run, you don't risk anything of your own when you play as a Scav. However, Scavs must locate and move into extraction zones just like PMCs in order to survive the raid and transfer any loot you may have gathered into your stash. In addition, you cannot progress your PMC while playing as a Scav. You will not earn any experience or be able to complete any quests. When preparing to play as a PMC, you will be given the option to enable the offline mode. This game mode gives the player a chance to explore the different maps, test out weapons and equipment, and even engage in PvE against AI Scavs and bosses. In this mode, you don't risk losing any equipment or loot, but all the progress and any loot items will be lost when the raid ends. At the time of making this video, there are 7 playable maps across the city of Tarkov, with many more to come. The variety of maps facilitate a variety of playstyles. The small indoor map Factory lends itself to a fast-paced CQC gameplay, while the large map of Woods offers the snipers an advantage to reach out across open fields and clearings to engage the enemy at a distance. Players also have the option to enter a raid during the day or after nightfall for an added variety of gameplay. Each map will also have a maximum PMC count for each raid, ranging from 6 to 14 PMCs depending on the map size. There is also a maximum raid duration for each map, ranging from 20 minutes all the way up to 50 minutes per raid. Once in a raid, the gameplay is very immersive. Situational awareness is key to being successful in all aspects of Escape from Tarkov. With no HUD indicators, things like remaining ammunition and ammo type must be manually checked. There are also no friend or foe indicators, so communication of movement and tactics is essential when playing with teammates. Keeping a keen ear out for footsteps or the rustling of branches is also key to gaining the advantage over an approaching enemy. Tarkov also has an expansive movement system that allows you to be much more tactical as you traverse the environments. A variable movement speed affects your movement pace as well as the amount of noise you make while moving. Variable crouch heights and lean angles also allow you to peek over or around any cover you find yourself behind. And when peeking isn't an option, side and overhead blind fire allows you to return fire without putting yourself at risk. Overall, Escape from Tarkov is a complicated but immersive game. With a heavy learning curve, it presents a satisfying challenge for those who are willing to grind and learn the game's many mechanics. And while gameplay can tend to be slower paced, the sound of a nearby firefight or of approaching footsteps will continue to get your adrenaline pumping long after your first raid. Thanks for watching the video. If you found anything helpful or interesting, please drop a like. It's free to do and it helps me out a lot. And consider subscribing for more guides, playthroughs, and other videos of your favorite games. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next one.